Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Beat. I'm your host, Giuseppe Oliveri, and we have an incredible show for you tonight. We start off on the diamond as the MLB postseason continues to heat up. We then turn our attentions to the MLS as their season winds down. After that, we are joined by Clara Bal of the Hofstra Volleyball team to discuss their season so far. And next, we stay with the Pride as we discuss the roars and bores of Hofstra athletics. Following that, we have our Pride Weekly Update and our Pride Top 5. We will then take an inside look to Hofstra field hockey team before we finally wrap up with our Athlete of the Month. So, don't go anywhere because Sports Beat starts right now. October baseball is back. The MLB postseason has only just begun, and here to bring it down with me, Brendan Yerkes, Mikey Dent. Fellas, how are we doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
So, I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you guys for asking. Love the question back. Let's waste no time, though. Starting with the Mets and Phillies. Right now, the Mets are up 2-1 on the Phillies in the NLDS. Mikey, I'll start with you. Why have the Mets been such a thorn in the Phillies' side?
The Mets offense comes alive. Every single time you think it's over, they're back. We saw it in the 8th inning of Game 1. We just saw it less than a half hour ago. Francisco Lindor go-ahead grand slam. They keep it up. They get these last 6 outs that they need. Let's take one, both of you.
Ooh,
these are tickets to Honolulu, a nice vacation spot where the Phillies will be going right out of JFK Airport. There is authentic Hawaiian hospitality. So that's for the Phillies. 6 outs away. If they can't figure out this Mets bullpen. Edwin Diaz, I fully expect the great close.
Yeah, maybe they're a little bit tired of Cancun the last 2 years, but, I mean, it's the Phillies bullpen. They're not getting it done. Their starters done a great job starting down the Mets, and what have the Mets done all year, especially down the stretch? They get those late innings, they're down runs, and they just somehow get the big hit and find a way. Like we said, the Lindor grand slam that just happened, Game 1, 5 runs in the top of the 8th inning, that propels them to the win. So getting these late hits from their big-time players, even not their big-time players, you're getting hits from Jose Iglesias, Tyrone Taylor, Starling Marte in the middle and the bottom of the lineup, that's bringing them the win. So the Phillies bullpen, that's been the problem for them. Their starters doing a good job, but the Mets, when they get their chances with people on base, they're getting those hits.
And you guys ready for this little tidbit that I found out? 2 times in the Mets of the postseason hit a 2 RBI triple, 1969, 1986. They did it in the wild card. Call me crazy, but things may be lining up. All right, so going over to the Bronx now, the Yankees and Royals, they'll play Game 3 tonight as well. Fellas, plain and simple, with such a weak American League postseason left to go, do the Yankees have an excuse to at least not make the World Series?
No, there's no excuse. I don't care if there was a stacked other side of the bracket. When you have the payroll that they have, $260 million, you put out that payroll, you better not only make, but you better win the World Series. They have absolutely no excuse. Say Aaron Judge doesn't perform up to par, right? Say he is, as he's been in the playoffs, subpar by his standards. I'm sorry, but when you're batting sub 150, I'm going to say it. They still have Juan Soto. They still have Gleyber Torres, who has turned it up a little bit in the postseason. They still have Chisholm, Stanton. They have plenty of help. I don't want to hear any excuses for the Yanks.
Yeah, the Yankees better not have to use these tickets like they have the past couple of years. You know, we're talking about this. But, yeah, Aaron Judge needs to come up big. And the Yankees historically beat up on the teams in the American League Central. Usually it's the Twins. They're not in the playoffs this year. The teams that gave them tough times, the Orioles and the Astros, they're both out. So they got to do something about that. The Royals, yes, they have very good pitching, but like you said, it all comes down to Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. You do have guys like Alex Verdugo who came up big in Game 1, so those are going to help, but you need the stars to come out, and the Yankees have no excuses with these teams that they usually beat up on. They have to find a way to make it to the World Series for the first time since 2009 because, again, like I said, the teams that they have struggled with are out. This is the clearest path they've had in a long time.
Whole lot of pressure on the Pinstripes. Let's see if they could get it done if Aaron Judge is not able to turn up. So we'll go to the West Coast now, back into the National League. The Padres and Dodgers, fellas, are playing in probably what is the most anticipated playoff series in a long, long time. So what's going to be the deciding factor in one of these two teams making it to the NLCS?
I think it just comes down to clutch. Really, Fernando Tatis Jr. has been absolutely phenomenal. He has 4 home runs in the postseason already. We saw first inning yesterday. What does he do? Absolute moonshot. Would have been home run in every stadium except Camden Yards, to left field, according to StatCast. That dude's incredible. The team's well-rounded. You have great defense and offense from Manny Machado. The bullpen's phenomenal. I fully trust it. The loss of Joe Musgrove, I think, is going to play a factor for the Padres. But as of right now, they got him on the ropes. You're up 2-1, and it's a bullpen game for the Dodgers. It's a bullpen game. This is light work.
For me, it comes down to pitching. You've seen the stars come out, Mookie Betts, Fernando Tatis Jr., but who's going to be able to shut down the opposing lineup? A lot of high-scoring games so far in this series, a lot of home runs. If somebody's going to be able to shut the door, especially with the bullpens, that's been the tougher part. The starters kind of have struggled. A lot of runs early in these games. One of these bullpens can shut down the other team. That's going to be the big factor. Now, obviously, the Padres have the advantage. They're up 2-1, have a home game chance to clinch there, but it really comes down to the pitching.
So, fellas, we have a whole lot to get up to. So thank you so much, Brendan and Mikey, as we now turn our attention to another season that is coming to a dramatic finish. Luca Dallasta has everything you need to know with this MLS update.
Hey, Sports Beat fans, I'm Luca Dallasta. The 2024 MLS playoffs are almost here, so let's get right into it. Currently at the top of the Eastern Conference is the nearly unstoppable Inter Miami. This squad has been making history all year, as they are now one of 4 teams in MLS history to reach the 70-point mark in a season and are only 1 win away from setting the single-season points record. Led by the duo of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, Miami has already brought home the Supporters' Shield, but will be looking to add their first ever MLS Cup to the trophy case as well. In the Western Conference, there has been no better team than the LA Galaxy. This is yet again one of the most dominant squads in MLS, as Gabriel Peck and Ricky Puig have been instrumental to LA's attack all season. The Galaxy will be looking to guarantee the #1 seed in the West with a win or draw on decision day in a few weeks as they prepare for their first postseason appearance in 2 years. Right behind Inter Miami has been the fearsome Columbus Crew, led by MVP nominee Cucho Hernandez. Cucho has been lighting up the pitch all season as he's produced 32 goal contributions this year, the most in club history. He will look to lead Columbus back to the promised land in hopes to secure back-to-back League Cups. Another team that has been firing on all cylinders this season has been LAFC. This club has been keeping the pressure on the Galaxy, as they have now won 3 straight matchups since letting the U.S. Open Cup. Led by top defender Aaron Long, LA has a tight grip on the #2 seed, but will look to steal the #1 seed on decision day. Lastly, the team with arguably the most momentum heading into the playoffs is Orlando FC. This lineup has been nearly unbeatable as of late, having won 6 of their last 7 matches, including a major win over fellow playoff contender FC Cincinnati. If this group can keep the ball rolling with a win on decision day, they will secure the 4th seed in the East. With so many historic accomplishments taking place this year, there isn't a true favorite heading into the playoffs. With your MLS update, I'm Luca Dallasta.
Welcome back to Sports Beat. I'm Antonio Schoenhardt, and I am joined by Clara Bal of the Hofstra Volleyball team, who has been red hot as of late. Let's take a look back at some of her top plays from this season.
Today, 13-8 That's from Clara Bal, and there's Clara Bal. Line riser.
Hampton serves, Hofstra digs. Near side, Clara Bal.
No doubt about it.
Center replacement for Alves due to her injury. Ball off of Signa.
Clara Bal goes in for the kill. She'll dance on the line.
Clara, first and foremost, thank you for taking time tonight for joining us here on Sports Beat. And to start us off, you are originally from France, yet you found yourself here in Hempstead playing for the Pride. What has your journey been like from Europe to the United States?
Hi, thank you. I would say that after high school, my first thought was to not stop volleyball and to continue studying. And the USA was offering the best options, and I just got in contact with Hofstra, and the coaches were amazing, so I ended up here. It was really exciting.
And we're glad that you did end up here. And I gotta ask though, France is usually synonymous and associated with soccer, right? But yet you decided to go down the volleyball route. What drew you to the game and why volleyball?
It was really never a question. I grew up in the gym. Both my parents play volleyball and always have played volleyball at a pretty high level. My sister also does. And I just continued that path and just took that passion for me too.
And the passion has led you right here to the Pride, where you guys are now on a 5-game win streak, 5-1 in conference play. What have been some of the key elements to all of that success?
I think it was really focusing on the growth. Every time we would practice and take whatever we practice on to the game and really take each opponent really seriously, having a lot of respect and knowing how important each game was going to be. And yeah, having a lot of fun too.
So you guys are now currently 9-6 overall, right? Keeping in mind that you're still 5-1 in conference play. What does the team feel about the performance so far? And are there any areas that need some improvement?
I think we just have to continue building on our on-court relationship and continue practicing and taking each opponent really seriously. I think we're doing really well, and I hope that this is going to keep going throughout the season.
So you guys just came off a straight sets win, a dominant straight sets win against Campbell. How does that help fuel you guys up for this next back-to-back game series against Northeastern, who are also tied with you guys 5-1 in conference play for the CAA as well?
It's really good to know that we can do it, and knowing that our next opponent is a pretty tall opponent and really important one. We're just really excited to know that we can do that and to repeat it this weekend at home, especially.
What roles would you say you play on the court or even off the court in terms of leadership and getting the whole squad rallied up and together?
I would say I just try to give my best and off the court, and if that brings me and makes me a leader sometimes, well, that's great, but I just try to do my best and put my best performance, that's it.
If you had to pick a moment from this 5-game win streak that really stands out to you the most, which one would you specifically pick and why?
I really took to heart playing against Sunnybrook, so our first win against Sunnybrook was extremely good, and I will remember that one for sure. Yeah, just by pride, I guess.
A little bit of bad blood there, but it's all good. Now, volleyball, of course, is a team-oriented sport. Can you speak on the chemistry of the squad, maybe, off the court, and what you guys do, maybe, hanging out, and how you guys just click so well?
Well, I spend more time with these girls than anybody else in my life, so I guess that's also why we have and create such good chemistry. Spending that much time together also builds relationships that go more than on the court.
Well, thank you so much, Clara, for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your season. As for us, right here on Sports Beat, we're going to be back in just a few moments.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Welcome back to Sports Beat, folks. It is now time for Roar or Bore, where we tell you what's roaring and what's boring across the Hofstra athletic season. So, first off, starting now, fellas, Mikey, Brendan, thank you so much for, staying with us. So we're going to start into the men's world of soccer. So, obviously, big losses over the offseason in Elliot Goldthorpe and Ryan Carmichael. And we've seen some new faces step into those roles in Jacob Woznicki and Lori Goddard. So my question to you fellas is this new duo either going to fill the shoes or perhaps go above and beyond of what last year's duo was able to do?
I'm going Bore. They're not topping it. Carmichael and Goldthorpe were incredible. Carmichael ranked second all-time in goals, 46. Goldthorpe had the clutch team. The last time I was on this show and I did the Athlete of the Month, I went to Elliot Goldthorpe because he had a game-winning goal. That's all he did. He was clutch. The duo was incredible. Goldthorpe, you're looking at his last season, 22 games played, 67 shots on the goal, 15 assists. He was incredible, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bore as well. And that's not to say Woznicki and Goddard aren't incredible players and that they're not making a huge impact for this men's soccer team. But Ryan Carmichael and Elliot Goldthorpe, 3-time champions, 3 years in a row winning the CAA title. You can't top that. Maybe you could be close to it, which they've obviously done a fantastic job. But those two guys got drafted to the MLS. Ryan Carmichael going to Inter Miami and Elliot Goldthorpe, the Vancouver Whitecaps. So it's going to be a Bore for me.
Interesting. So let me ask you guys real quick before we move on. If this Hofstra team is able to go further in the NCAA tournament than last year's teams, would you change your answer?
Potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they could get up there, but I think they need to do it a couple times, where Goldthorpe and Carmichael have shown for multiple years to be on that level.
Fair enough. All right, so moving now to women's soccer. Obviously, this is a differently built team as last year without Victoria Frank. There isn't one true goal scorer to go through and really put up the points. So head coach Simon Ridioff said that this will be a differently built team. Scoring will be more spread out. My question to you guys is this team more built to win a CAA title this year as opposed to years past?
No. I think the approach makes sense, making it kind of that committee effort, but the product that we've seen hasn't necessarily translated. You want to win a title, you got to do it on the road, unless you're the one seed. And even if you are the one seed, you're going to have to win on the road. They haven't won a single game on the road yet. They're 0-2-3. You look last year, they were a lot better equipped to do it. They were significantly better on the road, much more balanced. So the product says no.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bore as well. Team's very talented. They could obviously go and make a run, but they've been better in years past.
All right, so thank you once again, Brendan and Mikey, for sticking with us. Now, Michelle Rabinovich brings you your Pride Weekly Update.
Hey Sports Beat fans, I'm Michelle Rabinovich and welcome to this month's edition of the Pride Weekly Update. Hofstra has a long weekend of action ahead, so let's get right into it. Tomorrow, the women's tennis team travels to Philadelphia to compete in the ITA Regionals. The Pride will have to survive 5 days straight of contests if they want to bring home a major tournament win. Matches are scheduled for each day from Thursday to Tuesday. Shipping up to Boston, the women's soccer team takes on the struggling Northeastern Huskies tomorrow. Hofstra is coming off of the back-to-back ties, but will look to the big boot of Thorhildur Thorhallsdottir to get them back in the win column as they face off a Husky squad that has yet to win a game this season. Game time is set for 6 p.m. Staying on the road, the field hockey team also heads to the city of brotherly love as they battle the dominant Drexel Dragons. Hofstra is currently on a 5-game losing streak and will have a tough task ahead of them, as Drexel currently holds an 8-3 record, the best in the CAA. Match time is set for 4 p.m. on Friday. Back on the island, the volleyball team also squares off against Northeastern this Friday and Saturday. This matchup will be crucial for determining CAA standings as both teams are 5-1 in conference play to start the season. The Pride have been on fire recently, winning their last 5 matches straight. However, Hofstra will have their work cut out for them as Northeastern is currently on a 3-game win streak of their own. Match times are set for 5 p.m. on Friday and 3 p.m. on Saturday. Finally, the men's soccer team hosts the Campbell Fightin' Camels. This Saturday, Hofstra will turn to the scoring duo of Lori Goddard and Jacob Woznicki to lead the charge for the boys in blue, as they take on a Campbell team that has been a force to be reckoned with to start the season. Match time is set for 2 p.m. on Saturday. For more information on schedules, live streams, and more, visit GoHofstra.com.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for that Pride Weekly Update. Now it's time to stay with the Hofstra Pride and get to your Pride Top 5, all of the best plays from over the past couple of weeks. So let's waste no more time and get right into the thick of things here. All right, here we go. Starting in at number 5. What do we got? I believe that we start on the pitch. Yes, we do. We were just talking about them. Lori Goddard, Jacob Woznicki rolls a little bit reversed this time. Usually it's Goddard finding Woznicki, but we're going to look back at this replay one more time. Here's Jacob Woznicki. He's got 2 defenders. No worries. He'll split the defense with the ball. Lori Goddard's got to wait a little bit back on it, but when he's in that close, you bet your bottom dollar that he is going to find the back of the net, and that duo has been just amazing. Oh, hey, Milo Hall. Thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, you weren't part of that play. All right, number 4. Guys, they're not booing her. They're roosing her. Pika Roos. Let's take a look at that again with an unbelievable save. Here we go. She's set hugging the post. She's got a sprawl over to her right as her defense not able to block that shot. And she says, I'll do it myself. Don't worry about it, fellas. She's been unbelievable this season. All right, coming in here at number 3. We are back onto the pitch. Emma Johnson finding Ellie Goff. Whoop, makes one man miss. Oh, the keeper miss. And didn't anybody tell you? You can't let Ellie Goff into the net with that much space. In the wise words of Biggie Smalls, if you don't know, now you know. Here we go. Look at that. Outside of the 8-yard box. Yeah, she's going to knock that in 11 times out of 10 with a little frustration back there. Here we go. Number 2. We're over to the volleyball court now. And guys, watch this. Bump, set, spike. I know Clara Bal approves of that one. She's here right now. Ayana Grant jumping up into the air like Superman, Superwoman in this case. Let's go and watch this one more time. Ball's up in the air. We're going to wait on it and set. And if I could pause it, I would. Look at that. Just a dominant spike right there for a Hofstra volleyball team that has been on fire lately. So good job on the women over there holding things down. Now let's go over to number 1. We are back onto the soccer pitch. This is men's soccer. Ball almost cleared out. Rock Carlos going to take a stop to that. Here we go. Lori Goddard doesn't have a play. We'll just send it to the middle. Yeah, you bet that you're going to find the foot of somebody right there. And ooh, look at the defender get nailed to the bridge of the nose right there. Keep a head up, will you? So here we go. Lori Goddard right outside of that 18-yard box. He'll find somebody right in the middle out there. And there you go. And that is going to do it for your Pride Top 5. So don't not worry, because Sports Beat will be right back right after this.
I immigrated to America when I was 20 from a country called Uruguay. I have 2 careers. I'm in the Army Reserves, and I have a civilian career as an engineer. And I have 2 wonderful children. Every day is a challenge to make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to be there. You have to be present for them. You have to try to teach them when they learn something new and it just clicks in their brain. I just realized I could do this. And you can just see in their faces. It's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
And welcome back on to Sports Beat everyone. Our very own Olivia Hillstead recently spent a day with the Hofstra field hockey team to give you this inside look.
Hey Sports Beat fans, I'm Olivia Hillstead, and we're here today at Cindy Lewis Stadium watching Hofstra field hockey prepare for game day. We're going to have an interview with head coach Hillary Fitz and junior forward Teresa Karoff. So let's jump right in. Joined with head coach Hillary Fitz now. First question for you, coach. What's the transition been like becoming head coach here at Hofstra?
It's been a fun transition. I would like to say I did a lot of the similar work at William & Mary my previous year, or my most recent year, but coming in, having Bennett, who's already been on staff, and then hiring Lauren, who was somebody I coached the past 4 years. So having those 2 pieces helps my transition, as well as all the girls have been very accepting of me as I've stepped in at the latter part of spring and then now fully with them all of this fall. First, we implemented a different structure. So we changed from what they were in outletting to 1 more additional defender, and then a little bit more of speed and play. I like to kind of push tempo as much as we can, and then Obviously, our game is about momentum, so I'd like to have a momentum build and then continuously build on the momentum as we play forward. We're in a very big growth phase right now. Started off a little bit on the growing pains, started to succeed a little bit. Now we're kind of facing some tougher competition. So as long as we keep playing with fun and little details, they can take, the world's their oyster.
We're here with junior forward Teresa Cara. First question for you, what's it been like working with Coach Fitz?
Well, it has been a fun experience. I guess switching coaches is always a new challenge for everyone. I guess it will still take time until we're fully on the same page with everything, and she brings a lot of new ideas, so the team tries to adapt to all her ideas. But yeah, I'm excited for the future with her, and she has been changing a lot already, so that's very fun. Oh, I used to be a defender, so I used to control the game, the pace of the game, use my overview of the game to contribute. Now it's a little bit different. Now I'm a midfielder / forward in the beginning, now more midfield. So I'm a lot more under pressure when I receive the ball, and I think I still try to use my overview that I learned as a backfield player and try to use that. So I do think the team energy has been very, very, very great. Obviously, we had quite a tough start into that season, and especially into CAA play too. But I do think the team is more positive than ever. We're more bonded than ever. I think this season is all about growth. Coach Fitz came in very late during spring, didn't have a lot of time to work with us and optimize things. And then new freshmen coming in is always a big change, and we don't have a lot of time in preseason. So I think the goal for this season is definitely growth.
Thank you to the Hofstra field hockey team for that incredible inside look. So, staying with the Pride, it is now time to crown our Athlete of the Month. Once again, joining me is none other than Brendan Yerkes, Mikey Dent. Mikey, I'll start with you.
Lennon Gill, very easily for me. He was just named the CAA Offensive Player of the Week. He scored 2 goals against Elon, 4 goals on the month, 10 shots on goal. He's been phenomenal.
I went a little bit off the board. This Hofstra volleyball team, we've been talking about it all episode, how good they've been. So I kind of went with someone who's a little bit off the board. Ellie Pamitat, really good assisting, leads the Pride in assists with 406. That's a wide margin. And every single game this year for the Pride, the most assists on the team. So 5-game win streak, she's a big reason why, setting up the offense.
Now, fellas, with the show focusing so much about volleyball, it'd be stupid of me to not give it to her. But Lennon Gill is going to be my Athlete of the Month. So that will do it for this edition of Sports Beat. But we have many thanks to go around before we say our goodbyes. Brendan Yerkes and Mikey Dent took you through the MLB postseason and also told you what was roaring and boring, and also gave you their Hofstra Top Athlete of the Month. A big thank you to Clara Bal for taking the time to sit down with Antonio Schoenhardt live in studio. Luca Dallasta and Michelle Rabinovich gave you updates from the Pride and the MLS. And once again, thank you to the Hofstra field hockey team for giving us a look behind the scenes. I'm your host, Giuseppe Oliveri, and thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, Hofstra fans, to always roar with pride.